My brain just works so well. Hello everyone and welcome to this slightly more casual episode of Lovebird Lane. I am here, or Lovebird Lane makes, I suppose. I did change my channel name, didn't I? So maybe I should remember what that is. Anyway, I am down on the ground. I thought I would go back to my roots this week, at least this week, where I used to record when I very first started this channel back in 2016, I believe it was. I used to record on the floor with my iPhone, and my iPhone used to be set up on my coffee table, and I would sit down on the floor, and Granger occasionally would come and visit. And this week, because Simon and I have been doing a bit more decluttering in our home, so there is a bunch of stuff over where I would normally record that I need to deal with, because if you're anything like me, when you're trying to declutter, things get so much more messy up front than clean, and you feel like you're getting nowhere. Anyway, this is a channel about knitting, quilting, and any other kind of crafty thing that has taken my attention in the week past. So I haven't been here for a couple of weeks. I do apologize for skipping last week. I had a bit of, it was a bit of a cold earlier last week. It wasn't really bad. It was just kind of, I wasn't sleeping, and I had this minor cold, and also I've discovered, well, I suppose I can say I've discovered that my mental health isn't really good at the moment. So I'm trying to take steps to basically exercise a little bit more self-care, try and get myself back to being at the state that I was previously. I've been really good for probably the last 9 months. I was actually able to come off my antidepressants, and I've actually been really good. And just this last little while, I don't know, I think I get a bit like this every year, sort of after New Year's I get a little bit down. So I don't know if anybody else is the same, whether it's a typical thing for this time of year or not, but that's kind of what I'm dealing with at the moment, is I'm a little bit down. But I have started this week doing some workouts. I'm trying to get my fitness back up, because I haven't done any, you know, sort of a structured workout plan for a very, very long time. Like, I walk the dog every day, but that's about the equivalent of it, and climbing the stairs in my home. So now I have started using the app Fit On, and I am doing a bit more exercise, practicing a little bit more self-care, taking my vitamins, all of that good stuff. So hopefully that means I can get my energy back up and get my mental health back on track. So today is a very busy day, so I'm going to try and keep this relatively short because yesterday I had the dentist with Simon. It looks like we're getting all the blather done up front this week, all the chatty stuff up front. Yeah, we had the dentist yesterday, and then we went op shopping and to Cash Converters here. I think I've mentioned before how I enjoy doing secondhand shopping. So we did that yesterday for Valentine's Day. Today's Wednesday. I don't usually record on a Wednesday, but tomorrow is going to be 38 degrees here in Australia. I'll put somewhere on the screen what that is in Fahrenheit. And I was thinking perhaps I would take Granger down to my mother-in-law's house and we could go swimming. Just spend the day by the pool, keep things cool, relax, because, you know, if you've been here for any length of time, you know the aircon saga in my house, and so I think I'd rather be by the pool and going for a swim, and Granger would probably agree. So that's probably what we're doing tomorrow. So I thought I would record this today. I'm doing some yarn dyeing today as well. That should hopefully be in the store next week. Keep an eye on my work Instagram, which is just at Lovebird Lane. It'll be on there. My newsletter link is down in the description. Obviously I'll be sending out one of those when I have everything sorted. Anything else up front? I don't know now, but yeah, I'm doing some dyeing. Thought I would record this. I could edit it tomorrow by the pool, and yeah, get myself a little bit organized, especially because last week was a bit of a write-off just because I just had no energy, didn't feel well in any way, and yeah, didn't get very much done, let's say, apart from some knitting. So we better get on to that, I think. So I will start. I have them next to me. My speckled space socks are finished. So let's see if we can get that in focus. It likes to... My camera really sticks to my face after I put something up on the screen. The little focus box just really stays there. So sometimes it takes a long time for things to come into focus. But yeah, these are my speckled space socks. Now there's not probably very much really to talk about these past what I have already spoken about. This is my yarn. This is Lovebird Lane yarns in my Mewstone Cave colorway on my BFL sock base. These were the socks that I knit incorrectly while knitting them 2 at a time and got them all twisted, so I pulled them apart and knit these socks. But yes, if you are new here, these can't remember what I was going to say now. There was something that I was going to mention for people who are new and I can't remember what that is now. My brain just works so well. Do you guys ever get like that where you have something that you really wanted to say and then you get derailed a little bit and then you can't remember what it was you were initially going to say? Yes, I know now. For anybody who's new here, I'm trying to be a reformed vanilla sock knitter because I tend to always knit vanilla socks. And I don't have another pair on the needles at this point in time. I will discuss that shortly. I want your assistance. But these are obviously a patterned sock. So these are slip stitches here that create little chevrons. I'll take one off and I can show you what the pattern looks like. So basically it's little slip stitch chevrons, and these were super fun to knit. I really did enjoy knitting these. The only thing that was really a little bit disappointing was I wasn't able to get the leg as long as I wanted, simply because I ran out of yarn from those first pair of socks that I frogged to knit these. I should have had more left because I think each of these are about 36 grams, or at least that was the frogged sock weight of yarn. So that's 72. Is my math right? My math's not usually very good, but I think that's 72. So somewhere I have 28 grams of this same colorway and I don't know where it is, and it would have been nice to have it because I probably would have, you know, added a little bit more to the leg. I guess seeing these are toe up, if I do find that scrap yarn, I can very easily just unravel my cuff and do more of the pattern on the leg. But we'll see, because obviously these aren't going to be worn for quite some time, especially if the weather is still going to be like 38 degrees. So it could be till winter that I even get to wear these, and if I do find the yarn before then, you'll probably see these back on the vlog where I have knit the legs a little bit longer. Because each of these did have, because of the place that the pattern wanted you to stop before you did the ribbing, I did have a smidge of yarn left. I think maybe 2 grams per each sock, so I've got about 4 grams floating around. So yeah, if I do find the other 28, I will definitely be pulling these out and knitting them longer because I do prefer a longer sock. But that is the only FO that I have this week, but I have an FO. And as I mentioned just before, I do need your guys' help. As I said, wanted to knit more pattern socks this year, but if you recall from my stash video, which was a couple of weeks back, maybe 4 weeks ago, I have a lot of self-striping yarn, and normally I would make just vanilla socks with self-striping yarn, but seeing I'm on a pattern sock kick, I would love to know what your favorite pattern self-striping patterns are. You know, patterns for self-striping that have patterning. I think it's just, let's just go with it. That's just it. So yes, if you have any suggestions for socks that are like that, please let me know down in the comments. I would love to see what you think. Let me know if you enjoyed knitting those socks. Links aren't really necessary, but just let me know pattern name, where I can get the pattern from, and I will hopefully have some sort of sock patterns instead to knit all those self-striping skeins of yarn, because I had quite a few from memory. I think I had at least four different, 4 or 5 even, maybe 6 with the knit picks that I had. So I've got quite a bit to get through, and I just don't really know. Are there good patterns for self-striping socks? I'm assuming there are. I've seen some that have like a slipped stitch, so like one stitch, you know, as it goes around, a stitch occasionally is like slipped from the color below, so that it kind of crosses up into the next color. So yeah, I'd really love to know if you have any suggestions. So yeah, you know where to put them. And we're drinking water today because it is far too hot for coffee. Now, this is simultaneously a sad story and a happy story, because my striped sweater is going really well. So what happened was, I got to separating the sleeves last weekend. I think it was last weekend or the weekend before. Would have been the weekend before, I think. And I did put a photo on my Instagram, which I might put up here on the screen so that you can see it. And I had to basically frog this sweater all the way back to virtually the collar. And that is because I didn't read the pattern, stupid. I did my usual thing. I did not read the pattern properly. And I think it was the first round of increases, actually, for my size, had you do, you know, a certain number, then your increase, a certain number, then your increase for a finite amount of times, and then they became more frequent for the rest of the round. So what happened is, in my very first round of increases, I didn't increase as many stitches as I should have. So basically I got all the way down to where I'm supposed to separate for the sleeves, realized I didn't have enough stitches, and so proceeded to frog the sweater. And as I went, I put all my stitches back on the needle so I could count them easily. Stitch count was wrong. Okay, off the needles again, frog some more, put it back on the needles, count the stitches. No, still not enough stitches. And that's when I discovered that there was an alteration. It wasn't completely even the whole way around in that first round of increases. So this sweater has been back to balls of yarn and now to this point. So I can show you now. But I have separated for my sleeves. Yay! And I'm not very far down from, oh, we're getting caught on me watch. I'm not very far down from the sleeve hole. What's this thing called again? A sleeve hole. Yeah, so I haven't gotten very far down. I'm only on the second stripe, really. I mean, I guess I did start the armhole with the Jilted Rose colorway here, and then I'm down to the second stripe after that. But yeah, it was pretty sad. It was pretty soul crushing, and although to be fair, with any other project I might have just spat the dummy and said I'm not touching that for the next little while. That can go in timeout, even though it was this guy's fault that it went wrong. But what can I say? This yarn is from Wool and Vine Yarns. I'm sure you know her. You know Kristen's work, and basically I'm loving using these colorways. So, you know, I guess it was a win that I got to work with them longer than I should have. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with how this is turning out now, especially that I have the right number of stitches on the needle. And yeah, I am now in the process of knitting down the body, as we have already ascertained. And there are 2 options for body length in this pattern. Strangely enough, I'm actually thinking of doing the cropped version of this sweater. Now, that is very unusual for me. I do not wear crop tops. I am a larger girl. Nobody wants to see my belly, quite frankly. And so I don't tend to wear crop tops in any way. But I have been thinking that I'd like to start wearing more skirts. And if I'm going to wear more skirts, they're going to be more high-waisted. They're going to go around my actual waist instead of pants, which tend to sit on the low waist kind of area. So I'm almost thinking that I'm going to knit this as a crop sweater. Yeah, I don't know. If you have knit this sweater, let me know whether you've knit the long one or the cropped one and what you think. Because yeah, I've been wanting to, like for winter especially, obviously I'm not going to wear this sweater in summer, but I have wanted to have a sort of a skirt legging kind of boot combo kind of thing, with, you know, a sweater over the top would be kind of cute. So yeah, I'm thinking the cropped, but I guess, I mean, I think if all else fails, I can knit the cropped version and keep my leftovers of yarn that I have and just keep them hanging around, don't use them for anything else. And if I decide that I don't like the crop sweater when it comes to trying to wear it with outfits, I can always just undo the ribbing on the bottom, knit the body longer, and then have the full length sweater. So I can't really see a problem with that, I don't think. What do you think? Let me know. Because I'm like, if you ask my husband especially, like I'm the most indecisive person, so I never know what I want to do. Everything is always me second guessing everything. So yeah, if you've got an opinion, you know where to put it down below in the comments, because I do read all the comments. I've been a bit slack at replying to them. I do apologize for that. But yeah, I'm really interested to hear what you think. But that's kind of all there is to write home about for knitting at the moment. So hopefully next week I will have another pair of socks on the go, some self-striping yarn into some socks, hopefully pattern socks. Plus I have something else here to show you. So I thought this would be fun because going through all the decluttering stuff upstairs, I found this sweater, and it is one I may have mentioned, I think, on the stash tossing episode. If you haven't seen it, I'll put it up in the card. It's also on the main page of my channel. It was some wool of the Andes that I had in this kind of cream kind of colour. It's looking more cream through my viewfinder, but in real life it's a little bit yellow. And if you know me, you know I don't really like yellow. I don't really like the yellow, orange, red kind of really bright sort of, I call them aggressive colours. So this is a little bit yellow, so I've got a couple of plans for this. So this is basically a batwing sweater, and I love a batwing sweater. So if you can kind of see the pattern like that. But this just does not suit my body in any way, shape or form. The worst part of it is, I think, that's the back. So it actually has some shaping, so that the front of the neckline is a little bit lower than the back. However, I have a short neck. I have a really short neck. So wearing this, dare I put it on for you guys so that you can see. It is very warm already this morning, but we're going to do it. We're going to put it on. Basically, this makes it look like my head is just resting on my shoulders, and with my very large breasticles, it also just looks, I guess it just feels frumpy. And so it's a beautiful sweater. It looks amazing on the person in the pattern photo, but I just don't think it's really, like, looking at it now, it looks fine. But if you could see this in full length, I should actually I've just joined TikTok, guys. If you're on TikTok, find me on there at Lovebird Lane. I haven't posted anything yet, but I had some advice that somebody said I should sign up for the YouTube channel and things like that. So I have done that. If you would like to follow me on TikTok, I'm probably going to have stuff. I'll probably cross post anyway, so if you do follow me on Instagram and here on YouTube, you'll probably see the videos anyway. But if you want to chuck us a follow over there, you can do. So maybe I'll make a short TikTok or something showing how this does not look nice. But basically, like I said, I have a short neck. I mean, it's probably going to be hard because I've got my pillow behind me. Let's see if we can get some more contrast. Ugh, that's not really any better because of the quilt, but I have a short neck, and this just literally, I feel like my head is sitting on my shoulders in this sweater. So although it looks nice, I mean, it's batwing, which I adore. I do love a batwing sweater. It just, I feel frumpy in it. I don't like it. And so I pulled this one out so that I can frog it. And the reason that I mentioned the stash video is because I have more of this yarn actually in my stash I'm not sure why I kept it or not used it, probably just because I finished this and just moved on to the next thing. But I'm thinking what I might do, because this is a touch yellow, like as I said, which I don't particularly care for. I'm thinking I'll frog this and get the balls, because Knit Picks Wool of the Andes comes in the little balls. I don't have one handy, but you know the ones. It's like what you get from Spotlight, or I'm assuming Michael's or Joann's or whatever in the US. But it's basically just the little sort of ovoid shaped ball that you get. And I'm thinking what I will do, because this is non-superwash, I can do the felting joins on them. So I'm thinking what I will do is the ones that are still in the balls, I will attach 2 of them together and then skein them, like, you know, like hand-dyed yarn. And just along with this one as well, once it's frogged, do it into sort of 100 gram-ish skeins if I can get them. And basically dye them just very faintly. I just want to very, very faintly, probably pink. I mean, it's me. Do I like pink? Yes, I like pink. So I'm thinking I might just very, very lightly, just a very, very low level wash of pink on this. I don't think it's going to go orange because it's not that yellow. But a soft peachy coral I'm cool with. So if it does go a slight orangey colour, pinky coral is fine. But I think I would get more wear out of this if I was to make it pink. Of course. So that is probably what's going to happen to this. I will frog this, and I think, as I've mentioned before, like, Wool of the Andes is my absolute favourite workhorse sweater yarn. Like, I would probably even prefer to use Knit Picks Wool of the Andes over any kind of hand-dyed yarn for a sweater, especially the worsted weight base. So yeah, for all those hand-dyed sweaters that I have hanging around, Wool of the Andes is my favourite. But yeah, this is probably going to be frogged. Well, it's definitely going to be frogged and probably dyed pink. And then I do have a plan for it. So this is something that will be coming along pretty soon, I think, because I am dying to knit this sweater. So I was watching, it was a new to me vlog. I believe she's also a hand dyer that she sells over on Etsy. Her name is, well, her business name is Sweet Skein of Mine, and her vlog is that as well. I am completely blanking on the lady's name. I will put it on the screen somewhere. I watched an episode, her most recent vlog, not the Valentine's vlogs that she's doing, but like craft vlog talking about her knitting, and she had finished a sweater called the Everett pullover, and I just looked at it and she looked so snuggly in it, and it looked so lovely that I'm like, I want to knit that. It is cabled all over the front. I don't know if it's cabled on the back, but it's definitely got cables all down the front. And she knit hers, I think, in a natural colour, but with a pink stellina thread running jointly with the yarn, which I'm obviously not going to do that. I don't even know where I would source that. I have had a thought that potentially mohair could be really nice being knit, but I'm worried that it will affect the gauge too much to use mohair with the worsted weight, but we will see. we'll see how we go. Potentially I could do my gauge trick like I did for the striped sweater and pick my size depending on what gauge I get with both the worsted and the mohair, but we will see. But yeah, that is something I'd like to get started pretty quickly, and I don't know whether I'm going to wait until I finish my striped sweater or whether I'm going to just frog this, dye the yarn and just get straight on with it. I kind of, knowing myself, knowing how I have absolutely zero impulse control, I'm probably gonna start knitting this pretty quickly. But yeah, that's my future plans for the moment. I need sock patterns, let me know in the comments, and I will obviously, hopefully, be having another pair of socks to show you next week. But I think that is all for now. I think that's it. I think I can move on. I haven't actually started dyeing yet. I've got my yarn sitting in pots on my stove. They're all heated up. They should be ready for me to start dyeing once I'm finished here. But yeah, I think that's all. And I really hope that you've all had a lovely fortnight gone and that you have a wonderful week coming. And I will try my very best to see you all again, same bat channel, same bat place, right here next week. So and if you enjoyed the episode and you haven't subscribed yet, please do that. Just the button down below, that'd be fantastic. I really would appreciate it. It would really help me out here on YouTube. And give us a like, give us a comment. It's all very good. It feeds the monster of the YouTube algorithm, and I really do appreciate all of you who do those things. So I guess until next time, happy knitting, happy crafting, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye!